Hi, it's Nay with special guest Oscar, and this is probably my one and only update for 2025 for Beauty A to Z Project Pam. Just haven't been wearing much makeup this year, haven't really had time to do updates. Every time I sit down, somebody wants to get on my lap. So yeah, haven't really been doing too good this year with all of that. This project I think was created by a couple of the girls who ended up starting Fantastic Ladies, I think. But yeah, this has been going for quite a few years now, and it's one of my favourites because 26 items, 4 year to work on them, suits me well. So for A, I've got the Aurora Borealis scrub from Lush. I have used it a few times. It's gone from 48 grams to about 40 grams. So it's something that I keep just sort of forgetting about, I guess because it's in the tub with the dark lid, and yeah. I have heaps of other scrubs, and for some reason I just forget about that one. For B, I've got I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, which is a reusable bubble bar, also from Lush. Set it down over there. So it started off at 102 grams. I think it was new at the beginning of the year. It's down to 16 grams. It looks like, from what I've recorded, it looks like I use about 15 grams every time I use it. So there's probably only the one use left. While it's not finished, I did get some good use out of it. I'm thinking it's probably does about 5-6 bars, something like that. So it looks like I've used it all but one. Which, considering how much Lush I've got, is probably not too bad, but also possibly should have been more. But yeah, I've got lots of stuff in this project, and yeah. C is Caribbean Flowers Scrub from Crabtree and Evelyn. Was 24 grams, is now 16 grams. It's pretty much done. It's getting to the point where I really have to like bang it and whatever to get stuff out of it. I'm thinking the next time I go to use it, we'll definitely finish it up. If I don't even know I'll get a full use out of it. I must admit, I'm kind of tempted to cut it open, and before this update, I was kind of tempted to cut it open and scoop it out and see what was left. But yeah, it's pretty much done for all intents and purposes. For D, I had the Dramatically Different lotion sample from Clinique. Started off at 6 grams. Yeah, it's done. I could cut it and try scraping it out, but I really don't think there's anything in there worth doing that for. So yeah, that one's done. So at least I got that one done and out this year. For E, I had the Elizabeth Arden Cool Glow blush jelly thing. It's in my room somewhere. I can't find it, and if I looked for it, this would never get done. So I just gonna. I used it a few times, not a heap. Yeah, it's a pain to try and use because it's all dry. Okay, for F, I had the Fort de France highlighter from NARS, little travel size. I was pretty sure I had pan at the beginning of the year. I've certainly expanded that pan, but yeah, a bit disappointed. I didn't get further, but then, as I keep saying, I haven't really been wearing makeup much this year, so is what it is. For G, I had Gwen Stefani, LAMB, Love Angel Music Baby Perfume. I think my goal was to try and get it so that it had disappeared when it was sitting in the lid like that, which is basically level with the bottom of that L, which I've basically done. So yeah, I've actually think I've met the goal on that, which was nice. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, and I'll be glad to see it gone. Bottle seems to want to leak. Yeah, getting there. Was 388 grams at the beginning of the year, and it's now down to 376, so I have actually used it a bit, which is good. For H, I had the Herbalism face cleanser from Lush. I probably could have used it up, considering that's all that's left, but at the same time I don't like really wasting things, and as it is, I think I use more of this than I really need to, because when I put it on my face and it sort of feels scrubby, but then when I go to like do it on my nose, I can't seem to get that scrubby feeling, so I end up using it and using it and using it and using heaps. So yeah, I wasn't going to waste more than what I needed to try and get it that feeling like it was doing something. For I had a Innocent Paint and Polish. I can't find it. It's got to be around somewhere. I'm thinking it must be in a bag that I can't find. Again, used it maybe a couple of times. I feel like I've got... there it is. Okay, yeah. Can't find it, so it's just gonna have to whatever. For J, I had Jungle, which was the solid conditioner from Lush, and I finished that up. It started off at about 26 grams, and I finished it, it looks like must have been in December. I ended up putting it in like a little jar with some water and making it into like a paste, because usually when it gets towards the end I have to sort of put it in with the next one that I've got out, but I remembered that someone off the Lush forum talked about making it into a little like a paste and using it that way. So I decided to do that to use it up, and it actually worked really quite well. Just put it in some water and let it sit, gave it a bit of a mix, and yeah, I was actually surprised at how well it worked. For K, I had the Miranda Keratin Smoothing Spray. I realised afterwards that I actually had two, and I couldn't remember which one I put in the project. They're in different shape bottles, but they're both the same size. So I didn't know which one it was, so yeah, decided to leave that one out as well. For L, I had the Lancome Piece of Cake Juicy Shaker. You can see where I was up to before, and I actually tried filming this before, and every time I pick it up it mixes a bit. You can sort of see where it could be up to, just there. I don't think I marked that at the beginning of the year. I think I marked it during the year. So yeah, even though I didn't get it finished, I did make some good progress on it. I reckon I've used up more than half of what was in there. There's a ball bearing in the bottom there somewhere as well. It started off at 20 grams. It's now down to 18. The little sponge chip applicator-y thing came off. I think it was sitting in something where it wasn't standing up, and it sort of soaked through and it ended up just like disintegrating, crumbling. So that sort of slowed down the progress on it a bit because it was hard to apply, and I was working out if I was going to try and put it into something else or what I was going to do. And it's also the kind of thing that goes in a pocket or in a bag, and then I forget about it and don't see it and have to search it out or wait until I come across the bag again, until I can start using it again. So yeah, I probably could have got it done had I done a better job of knowing where it was. Alright, for M, I had this MARC Nude Matte Foundation. Was 28 grams, it's now 26. I've used it a few times, haven't used it a lot. As I said, haven't really been wearing a lot of makeup this year. You can sort of see about where it's sitting. Yeah, I have used it, just not enough to really make a lot of difference. For N, I had the NYX bronzer in this Becca Compact. I've now got some pan showing, tiny speck in the middle there. I really didn't do a good job of pressing this. It was in its normal compact that was already broken, and I must have dropped my bag and it shattered out from where I'd repressed it. So I pressed it in there after it started off in here. It seems to have got hard pan. I didn't do a very good job of pressing it. Yeah, I have used it a few times, but yeah, a bit disappointed that I didn't make a bigger dent in that. For O, I had the Orgasm Lip Tint, Afterglow Lip Tint. There's no weight to this, it won't measure on my scales, and even though it doesn't look like I've used all that much, I've sort of been using it from the back, and that's really quite thin now. So yeah, I've used it a few times, but yeah, it's one of those that seems to end up somewhere and I forget about it until I find it again, and then I use it for a bit and repeat. For P, the Palmer's Dark Chocolate and Peppermint Cocoa Butter Lip Balm. No change in the measurable weight. It's really hard to tell with this because it's clear. When you shine a light through, you can't really see where it's up to. I again had this somewhere and couldn't find it, and then came across it in a pocket, I think. So yeah, could have made more progress if I'd kept a better idea of where it is. And yeah, it's really hard to measure where it's up to unless you let it sit for a long time. Okay, for Q, I had the Clinique 7-day scrub. Started off at 40 grams, which I believe was in here. This is so cracked and was just annoying me, so it ended up in here. This now weighs 8 grams, and that's all that's left. It's probably a 1, maybe 2 use left in there, and that'll be gone. So it'll be nice to have those and the Herbalism gone shortly. I think that this weighs about 17, so if there was 40, it started off about 23, it's now down to about 8, so I have done pretty well with that one this year. But it's one of those things when you divide between a couple of different products in the same sort of category, you don't make an awful lot of progress on either of them. for R, I had this Magic Radiance Fix Plus from MAC. Started off at 80 grams, it's down to 72. Again, it's one of those things where when I remember to use it, I'll use it. I always used to use it under makeup. Sometimes now I'll just spray it when I think about it. When I get something out of my bag and go, oh yeah, that's in there, spray it. There's not a whole lot left. It's down about here-ish. But yeah, it would be nice to get that one used up. For S, I have the Sugar Crush Body Scrub from Sleep and Glory. I actually made reasonable progress on this one. Was 118 grams, is now 92. There's really not too much left in there, as you can see. Pardon me. And I would use it more if it didn't have the macadamia shell powder in it, which means that you can't really use it in the bath, but I do love the smell of this. I don't think I've got a backup. I ended up buying one of the Real Zing, but certainly if I was looking to buy something, if I was needing to buy something to get something from Mecca, it would be probably what I would go with next, unless there was something else that particularly took my fancy at the time. But yeah, I am planning to buy another one of those. But yeah, should get it done shortly. And it's something I tend to use more in the warmer weather, so hopefully that one will be done soon. For tea, I had the Comforter. Started off at 1030 grams. It's now down to 654, so I've used about half of it, touch under. I think I actually had a smaller one on the go at the beginning of the year, which I used first, which didn't help, but yeah, good to get some of that done. For you, I had Ultra Balm. Looks like I've used about 2 grams of it. Again, something that ended up somewhere else and I couldn't find it. Had to go looking for it to find it. Found it, started using it, did that a couple of times. Yeah, it would have been nice to get this one a bit closer to done, but it is still moving. I do still use it a lot when I know where it is. For V, I've got the Vanilla Berry EDT, old Avon one, used about 2 grams, used it 3, 4, maybe half a dozen times, but yeah, not enough to get anything done. For W, I had this Wild Mint Sage foot cream. Was 28 grams. It's now down to 4. I think there's a tiny bit more I can squeeze out of it, but I think it's really down on its last legs. And if it was just me using it, I probably would have used it up. But I was sort of leaving a bit for my mum because she had really terrible feet. She had some medical stuff going on with her leg, and I was doing stuff with her feet, so I started using this to try and get them into better repair, and yeah, just about used it up between the two of us. For X, I had the Fix Plus Soft Matte Stick. I don't think there was any change in weight, and I don't think I recorded the measurement. I just need to get this used up. Really, it's stupid to have that left. I may have used it once this year. I may not have used it at all, which is ridiculous. For Y, I've got the YSL Libre perfume, wherever it's gone. No change in weight, tiny bit left. I think I've used it a couple of times, but you know, really, it lives in my bag and I just forget about it. And for Z, warm and cozy. I have used it a few times, but no real change as far as measurements go. Yeah, so that's it. And I will see you in the next one. Happy New Year, everybody. Good luck with your new project pans. Bye.